Welcome to the Orange is the New Black Wincinnati podcast. We are bringing it back with a special guest today, Orlando Brown Jr. coming up next. Coming up on the Wincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Cincinnati. You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.
Yes, sir. Brand new season of the Wincinnati podcast. We've been rocking with y'all for a while now, since the Orange is the New Black podcast. I am Ace. He is Zim. Zim, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, man. So, surviving this heat is officially very hot. I want to ask you a question. Let me ask you this real quick. Is it better? Are you more comfortable in hotter weather or colder weather? I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I'll tell you what I think in a second.
I'm in Florida now, bro. So, like, I grew up in the Natty, so I hated the cold. I would definitely take Florida. It gets hot, though. In Orlando, it gets super hot around this time. So even though it's uncomfortable, I can still go in the AC. I can still get some water. I can still go in my car. Like, going in the car in the wintertime is the worst ever. The snow, bro. Yeah, nah. I'm gonna definitely say I'll take it. I take the being uncomfortable in the heat way over being uncomfortable in the cold for sure.
I'm the exact opposite. I feel like once you hot, bro, there's no escaping it. Like, see me, I could just no matter where you are in the country, you just throwing some layers, bro. Like you're good to go. You go outside. It's heat. That hotness. I don't.
You gotta wait though. You gotta wait in the car. You gotta wait. You gotta have you an automatic starter and let the car warm up. You can't just jump in the car, bro.
I'm jumping in, bro.
With the snow on the shield, you're not gonna have to wipe that up.
That's how I know you're a Floridian. See, you don't know about it. You gotta prep. You gotta you gotta like throw some salt out. You gotta get the windshield right before you even do all of that.
See, I ain't gotta do none of that. I just jump in and hit the AC on.
You jump in with that hot ass air blowing on your face, and then you're like, well, honey, we'll get down the street, and I promise it'll cool off. Yeah, it's still blazing, sweating from the walk.
Yeah, nah, that's true. That's true. You ain't lied about that.
Let's go. I think we should ask our guest today. What does he think? Because I think he's been in a bunch of different climates. So I'm gonna ask him. I feel like we just started that off on the most random ass topic. Orlando, how you doing today, bro?
I'm good, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. Put me in that cold weather any day.
Woo!
Put me in that cold weather any day. I'm a big dude, bro. I ain't trying to be sweating my ass off. Yeah, I'm a big dude.
You gotta have a rag, bro. You gotta have a rag on you.
See, man. Nah, bro. I sweat easy too. I be like trying to build. I'll be taking my little metabolism gummies and stuff like that. So then, like now, I get outside. It's moving. I'm like, nah, bro. This not for me. I mean, good cold AC is a beautiful feeling though when you go from the hot and then you go inside. But it's
I feel Orlando though, because like right now I done put on some weight, so yeah, it's the sweating comes a lot easier when you got that weight on you for sure.
Yeah, no, it. I would tell you, bro. The summer in Cincinnati right now, it's hot as hell over here. I'm like, but I'm not surprised though. It was a cold winter.
People don't know, you're from near where I'm from. I'm in Maryland right now. It's hot as hell. It's 100. It's 100 right now, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
AC, you got to get the guy to come check on it, get some free on all that type of stuff like that. Also, people don't know you, or they may or may not know. You've been on the show one time before. It's been a lot that's gone on since then. I feel like it's gone by so fast.
Yeah.
In that time frame, I remember you talking about how glorious it was to be a Bengal and how beautiful it was, and you were excited about the moves that the Bengals were making. Seeing some of the things, the politics that go around being the Bengals and being here, whatever, has any of that changed for you? Any of your perception changed on the overall standpoint of the Bengals are in it to win it and go win a championship?
Oh no, man. I feel stronger than ever about it too, because to be honest with you, man, what I love about our team is our togetherness and how close we've gotten really over the course of the 2-3 seasons that I've been here. seeing the growth of guys at different points of their career, like Jamar coming into Triple Crown. You know what I mean? Seeing Joe flourish like he is, setting himself up to win the MVP, to win a Super Bowl. Even the point that Coach Taylor's at, you know what I mean, in his career as a head coach, man. So, I feel stronger than ever about it, man. I'm so blessed and thankful to be here, man, and had an opportunity to wear these stripes every day.
For sure. Orlando, there was a lot of Bengals fans that we were on the keep T. Higgins side. There were people cut down the middle. Some people were like, oh, we need another guard or something like that. How did you feel about us being able to retain not only Jamar Chase, but also T. Higgins?
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. Because the reality is our system, the way that things work, I believe having receivers that can win now are so important and what we do and our effectiveness as an offense. And so bringing back T, that just gives us that element. You know what I mean? Everybody knows T. Higgins across the NFL. He's built a name for himself. He was one of the best in the world at what he does. And so, man, to have him back in the building and he'd be secured under 4-year, 5-year extension and had that comfort, man. I think that's going to bring a lot of people peace in the building. And shooting you straight, I would tell you O-line's best friend is a smart quarterback that can anticipate and receivers that can get open now. So, yeah, a lot of us are very happy about that.
I will contend, me being just a random guy on the couch, that a healthy run game also will go hand in hand with that. I recently did hear you on our good friend of the show, my brother Malik. I heard a clip where you were saying, yeah, people gonna have to line up 45 times against Orlando Brown Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like maybe the emphasis on the run game isn't enough from this staff, or maybe when y'all go into these week-to-week things? Because in my opinion, I feel as though the run game would aid and keep, that also will help you out in your efforts to protect Burrow. It'll also give you some more reps to be more aggressive and be more in aggressive, like going right at guys instead of being in like a retreat mode. Am I off with that?
Yeah. I'm to shoot you straight. I hate to disagree with you, but yeah, you are a little off in the sense of conceptually a lot of things that we do in the quick game with how quickly Joe gets the ball out of some of these base down situations are somewhat of an extension of our run game. Some of our screens that we ran over my course of my time here in Cincinnati. I would tell you I love run blocking more than I love pass blocking, but in our system, I really don't have time to, you know what I mean, truly be able to think like that, because this ain't the Baltimore Ravens in 2019 where, we led the league in rushing, you know what I'm saying? And another thing about that too is, man, at the end of the day, the best player on the field at all times is number 9. And so I'm a big believer. I'm trying to win. And that's no discredit to anybody else out there, you know what I mean, including myself. But to me, the reality is my man make 55 a year or whatever that number is. I'm gonna put the ball in his hands too every chance I get. So it's part of it, man. It's not anything that I would necessarily complain about. I do think that from an offensive line perspective, we got to do a better job in those short yardage and base down situations, creating more movement, being able to be more effective in the run game, because I think a lot of that falls on us in terms of personnel being able to properly execute it so that things can be consistently called when need be. And if I'm a play caller and there isn't movement when we call duo, or there's a TFL, or it's a 2-yard run, why would I call that again, knowing that I got number 9 at the helm? I got Jamar Chase that's ready to get open now. I got T. Higgins on the other side that will go up over your head. I got Mike Gesicki inside. So it's just this perspective, you know what I mean? And it's the offense that I play in that honestly I love. So hopefully that answers your question.
Nah, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
Speaking of the offense, we had a change of the guard at the offensive line coaching position, right?
Yeah.
What do you think are some of the differences between Frank Pollock's way and kind of the new way of doing things now with the offensive line coach?
Yeah, not to necessarily compare him, man, but Frank has done so much for me in my career. I mean, just truly an amazing offensive line coach. I mean, I speak so highly of him in terms of my development over the last 2 years, everything he helped me do to get to this point in my career. But man, I think Scott's been great, bro. Like Scott has done a great job coming in, really hounding away on his techniques, his verbiage. He's done an amazing job, I feel like, engaging with the room, creating also a sense of togetherness with us as well. You know, we even had an offensive line dinner this offseason as an offensive line with him and Mike McCarthy, our assistant line coach, included, which is so important to what we have and what we are. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, man. So Scott been awesome, man. I can't wait to be able to get out there here in training camp and continue to learn from him.
I think a lot of the guys that are currently on the offensive line, a lot of people don't know about just yet. You've had the opportunity to be around some of these guys for a good amount of time. You talked about the meeting or the dinner that you guys had or whatever. Like, is there something that we should know? I think a lot of people, including myself, are underestimating some of the guys, maybe just due to miseducation and the lack of knowledge on. I don't know about what Lucas Patrick, has done. I don't know what, Fairchild looks like on a week-to-week basis. Is there do you have any insight on some of the newer guys that are there now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, one thing about, our organization, man, is they're going to bring in guys with chips on their shoulder. And so Dylan Fairchild is a rough, tough, mean mug, you know what I'm saying? Like he's a real deal, you know what I mean? And he's come in every single day since he's been here with proper intent, proper focus, with attitude, will and want to. And I mean, he's shown it consistently, throughout OTA since we drafted him. So I'm super excited, man, for him and everything he's going to do as a rookie. On top of that, my man Lucas Patrick, I mean, truly a great special person, man, who is an incredible pro, who's had a very long journey to get to this point, man. He's, undrafted, worked his ass off. He's different, you know what I mean? He's special in so many different ways, and he's going to bring a ton of versatility to our room as a guy that can play interior, all three, you know what I mean? That's played in some big games and played a lot of football throughout his career.
For sure. Switching things up, just like I see you got all the Funko Pops in the background, so I'm going to switch it up on you just a little bit. I know we showed the last time you weren't here, we showed an old video of you dunking a basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So you got Superman coming out, and you also had a Fantastic Four. I got to have, which one are you picking and why?
That's tough, man. I do like Marvels a lot. Man, that's a little tough. That's a tough one. But I bet you that Fantastic Four movie gonna go crazy. Yeah, I bet you it's gonna go crazy. Marvel always does a great job writing, and
they do.
I mean, I think about Deadpool versus Wolverine, the last one that came out. That was a great movie, man. So yeah, I bet you that's gonna be great. But Superman gonna be good too. It's Superman. Superman tough.
Yeah, he is.
Is there a character or something like I don't know if you've ever seen it. Do you use this as far as my emoji? Every time I use your name or I mention you, I use the trident or whatever. Because in my mind, I'm feeling like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's literally Zeus, right? Yep. But is there a character that you feel like maybe is like maybe underrated, or a character that in Marvel or any of that you just feel like that's your guy, like that's who you rock with, and that's what it is?
Yeah, you know who I like, dog? Daredevil, man. Like Daredevil story. I don't know, it's just something about it. Everything somewhat against this dude, and through it all, he's got an innate ability to continue his practice of law. He's blind. His daddy was murdered. You know what I mean? Mom left. I don't know. I like his purpose.
Nah, I like that. You watched the Born Again series? You watched the new one, or
it's funny you say that, because like I'm a big comic book dude. Like I got a ton of comic books and have always collected them, like just as a kid and throughout life. So I got a ton of Daredevil comics, man. So that's really more so how I learned about it. Just this offseason, I started watching the TV show from a few years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you got into the Netflix joint. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It is, man. I like it. Nah,
for sure. I see you got the Star Wars thing in the background. Like, For your Funko Pops, how did you get into collecting them? Because I've got some for my son and stuff like that. I know a lot of people collect them. What kind of got you into collecting them?
Yeah, I started collecting Funkos my first year in Kansas City.
Mhm.
So it was that 2021. And to be honest with you, I've always had like collectible stuff. Like I
Yeah,
got like even now, like I got a set of tickets from 1996 signed by Ray Lewis up
yeah.
here. I got from the Baltimore Ravens, like their inaugural season. I got a pamphlet. It's funny. I got a pamphlet that was actually given to me as a gift, and it's Jonathan Ogden, a picture of Jonathan Ogden, but my dad signed it. Which is
Oh, fire.
pretty funny. So I got Anthony Munoz signed picture, Walter Jones signed picture, Kevin Garnett in here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a Michael Jordan signed basketball. I probably shouldn't even be telling y'all all this crazy shit I got in my house,
Jeez.
but yeah, no, I've always been somewhat of a collector of things, and
Mhm.
I've been fortunate as an athlete to be able to be around other athletes and in special scenarios and situations. So Funkos are just something I kind of gravitated to. I feel like is a part of me, man, and somewhat feeding my inner child, you could say.
Facts.
I feel
Yeah,
like it motivated me. My birthday was the other day, and my wife gave me my first Bengal helmet. And I thought about this. I was like, bro, I've been doing this all this time. I never had a Bengals helmet, but now I
yeah.
have a goal of getting all of y'all signatures. So I need to get up with you at some point,
Oh
and I
yeah.
gotta get this signed because I'm like, bro, I've been doing this for a while. I don't have any real good collections like that, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. That's the cool part to me too. You know what I'm saying? Like I just been fortunate, man. Like I said, like I got Funkos of every quarterback I play with. I got some pretty cool stuff in there, man. But to me, it's although it is physical, it's got some sentimental value to it.
Yeah, that to me that's goes hand in hand with it, because like guys like our good friend Bengals Jim, he has a real good event coming up in a couple weeks, and they'll have all the greats there, and then the stories that are behind it. Like that was my first time. I went last year. I met Jeff Blake. That was my first time. We had him on the show, but me seeing him there, and then I'm telling my son about him, and you know what I mean. Like these are different
Yeah.
things that people don't really, and of course we got the autograph and everything like that too, but
Yeah.
the stories that kind of go hand in hand on like where were you when you got it, what was that conversation like. To me, those are the things that people don't really talk about as much. Like I'm not one of those guys that I go to an event and I have my camera out a lot either.
Oh, me either. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
I'm
know
the
what I
same.
mean?
I'm the
Like
same way. Yeah.
You gotta enjoy the moment. And like you said with the collectibles, like for me, sometimes it may be, I know my wife got me like this old 90s Ninja Turtles kind of like set and stuff like that. The nostalgia
Right.
that comes with that. For me, it was Jordans. Because when I was coming up in Cincinnati, I couldn't afford them back in the day. So as an adult, it's like I'm getting every Jordan. I want the 13s, I want the 12s, I want the 11s that I couldn't get. And it's that inner childhood that you kind of talked about when you do that collection. It's like I never had these. I need these now, or I
Oh, for
need those
sure.
again.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, man. Because outside of comics, I mean, a comic book might cost you $1, might cost you
Yeah,
$2. Like
yeah,
my parents wasn't tripping off. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, we in New York City or something as a family. Like,
facts.
if I'm at the comic book store, close to my neighborhood growing up, like they wasn't tripping. They give me $2 and I go get a comic or two. But some of these collectibles and things I've been able to collect, man, is exactly like you said, kind of proving the point. Another thing too is my dad has so much, like he was a somewhat of a thief. Like he would. I remember growing up in my grandparents' house. I don't remember who the kicker was for the Bengals in the '90s that wore number 4. I don't know who it
Mhm.
is, kicker or punter. But he stole this man helmet. Like that was in my house, and it's crazy how God works because that was in my grandparents' house. I mean, my earliest memories are seeing a Baltimore Ravens helmet, a Bengals helmet, a Browns helmet. You know what I
Uh
mean?
huh.
And so, the irony in that is crazy. But yeah, he somewhat started my collection off pretty well, man. I got some heavy hitters around here.
yeah, what I was gonna say, I didn't want to change off of that too, but you had brought up, like the Ravens And you said, hold on, go back to jersey number 4 though. That's Evan now. Wasn't it in the 90s? That's like Jim Breach or somebody like that.
Nah, Breach is number 3. So I had to. I was like,
maybe it was 3. Maybe it was 3.
It gotta be
I say 4. You know what I mean? Maybe it was 3.
Yeah, and then after that was Shane Graham and all. Okay, but what I was gonna say is, like your history with like the Ravens, and then looking at like like what they've done recently, and the players that they're collecting.
Yeah.
Do you look at that and say that I wish that the Bengals would kind of go out and do some of those moves too, or is it like you kind of lock in on what you guys got? Like, what does that look like when you see another and then the Ravens sign someone else?
Yeah, for me, man, I think the reality is, it's only so much that we can control. I feel like a lot of times too, as I mentioned earlier, man, this game is circumstantial. There were a lot of things that had to click for Jair in Baltimore for him to sign at that price tag, including everything that they build, familiar faces and Lamar Jackson. I'm sure the Ravens had interest in him at some point in time. That's normally how those type of things work, man. So, I think our front office, to be honest with you, they're always working. You know what I mean? I be in there damn near every day, and they in there before me. So, they're always working, man, and their attention to detail is very, very high. You know what I'm saying? So, man, to me, it doesn't really mean much. At the end of the day, man, the game's got to be played on Sunday. So, I've been a part of some teams where we bring in everybody we thought we needed, and them lights come on, and ain't nobody playing up to par. You know what I mean? I've also been a part of those teams that to me weren't as talented as others, and we go on to be successful and win the Super Bowl. So man, I've kind of been a part of it all. I think at the end of the day, for me, controlling what I can control, which is myself, my preparation, being ready for Sundays, is all I can do.
For sure. So one dope thing, I think that you kind of become one of the voices of the Cincinnati Bengals. You become one of the leaders of the team. With a guy like Amarius Mims coming in last year, were you able to help him along, mentor him, and like you guys being that duo? I feel like that could be one of the top duos tackle wise in the league.
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, and it's something that we've talked about too, because, in terms of our offensive success, with as much as we pass the ball, we got to be extremely efficient at tackle. And, we set the standard. It's a little bit unrealistic, but at perfect. And, from there, everything else kind of takes care of itself. But Mims is another guy, man, similar to Dylan. He's come in with the right mindset, and he's come in. He worked his ass off last year, getting ready. He battled the pec injury. He comes in versus the Commanders. He's ready to go. He goes down. We go down to Carolina. He plays his ass off against Jadeveon Clowney. And obviously he battled some injury there. I guess at the end of the season with whatever he was dealing with. But man, he was still able to go out there and fight and be really productive. And so, I mean, Mims is really another guy, man, that, I've been around the game a long time. In terms of talent, it's not many people walking around the world with what he could do. I mean, it's this guy, I've seen him do some shit. I'm like, man, I mean, if I could been like that, I mean, dog, like, so, but he puts a lot of pressure on himself to be the best. And he's done such a great job, coming in as a younger player and being able to develop and grow and really focus on the right things, man. So, I'm expecting a really big year from him, but I would tell you nobody is expecting a bigger year from him than him.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think some of the guys, like, I think Matt Lee was like a fan favorite last year, right? Yeah. And one of the conversations I think too is like, who could play interior offensive line with the, Kappa's now gone and some of the movement that you guys have now that Bosa's maybe now and maybe more in the backup role. Who knows where he ends up? I'm not sure. But like a guy like Matt Lee, is that a guy that you think that if you were coaching, would you try him at guard?
Yeah, no, man. I think Matt got a ton of capability. He's another talented guy as well, man. He's also done a great job since coming in, being able to learn from Ted. learning about the system. He's extremely smart. You know, he's a really special talent as well. But yeah, I mean, I think Matt could play guard if need be. You know, I think he definitely has that versatility.
I don't know if you want to share them or not, but do you have any goals for the off season or this upcoming season that you kind of maybe a little bit different than what you had before?
Nothing different. You know, it's all about being the best and being the best left tackle in the world and going to win a Super Bowl, man. Those are the top two things at the on my goal list this year, football related, man. You know, I think we due for that. We're due for, you know, a hard ass training camp, a
Yes,
fast
sir.
start come the regular season, going into the playoffs, rolling, hoisting that Lombardi next February, man. To me, I think, you know, we do for that. We do
Yes, sir.
for, you know, us turning a corner as a team and really committing to that goal as a unit and taking the next step, man, as a team and you know, just being ready to fight.
Do you look back at like this past season? Do you think it's a little unfair of like how people have like just kind of written you guys off, or is it, you know, like just it is what it is type of situation? You know, considering like in my mind, you guys were like one of the hottest teams in football to close out the
Facts.
season.
Easy.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I don't know, people just kind of dumb it down and be like, what do you like? Like from the out? I'm telling you, I know you in the locker room. You
Yeah.
feel a certain type of way, and you voiced how much faith you have in the team. From the
Yeah.
outside looking in, they just look at it like the Bengals haven't gone to the playoffs 2 years straight.
hmm Yeah, yeah, you know, and I understand the perspective on that. You know, I think us not making the playoffs 2 years in a row is you know the reason for that. But man, you know, we know what we got. You know, we know who we are. I think our fan base knows who we are and what we got. It's just time. It's time to put it on tape. You know, it's time. It's time for us to, as I mentioned, man, come out here with a fast start and be extremely effective as a team, so that you know, when it comes time in December, as opposed to, you know, having to scratch and claw for seed
Yeah.
4 or 3, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Those things
Mhm.
are settled and resolved, and you know, we got time to rest heading into the divisional round.
Do you ever suggest to them like different things that you did on the Chiefs or different things that were on the Ravens or whatever to say, hey, look, this is what we did at the beginning of the season? Or do you feel like, nah, I'm gonna just back up and like,
Yeah, no, you know, I think you know, if someone were to ask for if someone were to ask me if there was anything that we did special or unique there in those situations, I would communicate if need be. But
Mhm.
man, I'm not just going around, you know, like, hey coach, man, hey Zach, Coach Reed would blah, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't, you know, I would never do that with Joe, or you know, I would never do that with Pat or Lamar either. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you know, man, I think at the end of the day, man, these people got their jobs for a reason. So I just, like I said, I just try to play my role and let's be the best leader on the tackle I can be.
You've been in the city for years now. What is your favorite aspect about the city? Because it seems like you love the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of got the feeling of the South a little bit. I really love you know, how it's convenient. Like, you know,
Mhm.
you're able to kind of get everywhere you need to within the city limits
Yes, sir.
pretty easily. Man, it's good vibes. It's just enough to do for my
Mhm.
kids.
Mhm.
Um man, I don't know, it's something different about here, man. It's special, man. It's home for me.
Yes, sir.
yeah, I feel like that low key chill. Like I don't think they, DC nightlife here, and
Oh
like
yeah.
you know what I mean. Like when I come there, like my first time there, I'm like, where the strip clubs at? They were like strip clubs. You know what I mean? It was.
Ain't no strip
It's just
clubs for
it's
real.
very different in that aspect, and I can appreciate that. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think I know what you're talking about. It do be some stuff happening though. Like like I
Yeah.
go to the bank sometimes. There be some wild stuff happening there too. So
Yeah.
it's not like so far removed from like any
But I
type
feel
of
like it allows them to lock in because if you in Miami, it's a lot of
well, that's
distractions
what
that you
Chase
can
was
have.
saying. You remember
Yeah.
Chase was saying that when he signed, he was like, "Yeah, I could chill," and
Yeah.
and I don't know if people took that the wrong way, but I kind of know what he meant. Like here, I could go do something if I wanted to at 3-4 in the morning. Like if I wanted to,
Yeah.
if I wanted to still be
Yeah.
outside, I could. There, you really can't.
Nah, you're not. You're not. You're gonna be in the house for sure. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, of
I
course,
ain't.
yeah, of course. Orlando Brown Jr. is gonna be there. Like
Oh,
he's
I'm in
not,
the crib. Yeah, I'm in the crib, man. I ain't hitting on. I ain't on nothing. I ain't hitting on nothing. I'm in the crib. So
just
yeah,
getting your
nah.
collection together. That's all.
Yeah. Even when I trained in Miami, man, I never been out in Miami in terms of
Yeah.
like
Don't,
partying, going to the club. I ain't never experienced it. Like,
don't.
yeah, no, I don't. I really don't want to. So,
Well, it might be different for you though. The politics in Miami are crazy, bro.
oh,
Like
yeah,
it's too much work to like. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you want to go out, you want to go out the right way. You want a good situation. You don't want a whole bunch of people around you. Type of like it's
Miami was different because when they had the big three with LeBron, like people wasn't even showing up until like midway through the game. That's how you know it's so much going on. And even when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl in LA, you kind of couldn't even tell the Super Bowl was going on. So because so many people out there were into so many different things. So
yeah,
it was crazy when we went out there because the Bengals fans were the majority in the stadium, believe it or not, like at that Super
I
Bowl.
believe it.
So like, and it was almost like the Super Bowl was like secondary out. And I was like, how could you be in a city with the Super Bowl? Because I grew up in Ohio. So football is everything. Like nobody's missing that whatsoever. So for me, it's always like some of the bigger cities, they seem to have other things that people might be into at the time. That's the only difference. I think Miami is like that just because there's just so much going on there, bro. So much going on.
Yeah, no, for real, bro. I that's why I love it here. You know what I mean? It's all ball.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
ball.
And you look at who just won the finals. You talk about Oklahoma City
Yeah.
and the Pacers and stuff. They locked in on ball straight up.
Oh yeah.
You've been around the country. You know, there's a lot of different people that watch our show from all. You know, like even in other countries right now.
Yep.
Is there a state that you've been in that you feel like it's just all ball, like no matter what? Like it could
Man,
be
you know,
college or the high school level, like where you went there and was like, this is a football town, this is a basketball town. This
hell yeah. I would tell you Oklahoma, where I went to
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. It ain't nothing out there but state troopers and football. That's and some buffaloes in the northern parts of Oklahoma. That's it though,
Yeah.
man. It's, you know what I mean? Like that's what it is out there. That's the culture. They got the Thunder. They love
Yeah.
it. They love the damn Thunder out there too. I think they had a minor major MLB team and a minor soccer team, but it's football out there.
Yeah.
Shit, in Kansas City, Missouri, it is
Yeah.
football. Yeah, them people are going, man, they will go above
It
and beyond
is
for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I respect it. I respect
bro. That
it.
airport, when you get off at the airport there as a regular non-football player, like you know me, I'm wearing Bengals everywhere. Like it's just looks.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what you doing here? Like as soon as you get to Kansas City, I don't think it's like in a malicious way, but like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
for sure though.
That's what it is, bro. Like
sure. Georgia too, man. When I moved down there for high school, my second year of my last 2 years of high school, that was. I mean, we had a football class when I was in high school where we would watch film and lift weights. We had a field house, a locker room, our own weight room. Like that was crazy to me. Like so, yeah, I would say Oklahoma, Georgia. It's all ball.
Nah, that's facts. So how is the fam doing, man? I know you had your son and everything like that.
Yeah.
How is the fam doing? How do they like Cincinnati? How do they appreciate cheering for the Bengals and kind of being able to be a part of your life and witness you have so much success on and off the field?
Oh man, it's really special, man. It's been numerous times. My 4-year-old son, I've been able to have him in the locker room, and I was actually able to have him in the locker room on his birthday last year when we beat Denver on the 28th of December, man. And it's special, because to me, those are things that I got to experience as a kid. And my biggest takeaway from it all, from sitting at Gold's Gym with my dad and all of them dudes in the off season, just watching them lift weights and, seeing my dad get up every morning at 6 a.m. and leave the house and, watching him at training camp practice on the daily, how hard all of those things were. And hell, even on Mondays when he'd be sore as hell later in his career, he got crutches for no reason. You know what I mean? And so, seeing all of that, for me, was extremely humbling and created a sense of understanding how hard it it should be,
Right.
and how hard you got to work to be able to be successful. And as a black man in this world, being able to provide for my kids, be in my kids' life as much as I can be, is so important to me, man. And like I said, I come from a long lineage of men that have been there for their kids. So man, I'm just they love it here. I love having them here. I love being able to have them in the facility and show them around everything.
When you talk
That's
about
dope,
like
bro.
how hard it is, and and almost appreciating the privilege and the opportunity to play in the NFL, do you feel like the NIL stuff is kind of hindering that, or like hindering, or the business aspects that are now entering into the conversation, are those things that you think are kind of hindering the game?
Yeah, it's hard to say if it hinders it. Like,
Mhm.
I think about myself during that time period. I might have been a guy that goes to FIU and then have to transfer to a big university because I
Mhm.
redshirted and I wasn't ready coming out of high school. You know what I mean? To be a starter. Now I started as a redshirt freshman at Oklahoma, but given today's time, I don't even know if I get that same opportunity. Because
Right.
of the transfer portal and all those different things. Man, it's tough though because money is involved. A lot of these young kids, these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, everybody is somewhat constantly looking for the best opportunity, which makes it even more competitive. It was already, I was a part of the wave where now you can get on Huddle or Twitter or YouTube or
Yeah.
Instagram, and a coach can get a DM from a high school kid like Baker Mayfield. I'm walking on at Oklahoma, and here are my high school highlights. You know what I mean? And so I was somewhat a part of the transition, all of those things. So I think it's awesome though, putting money in kids' pockets, man, allowing them to be able to take care of themselves and their families. But at some point in time, if I had to imagine how it's gonna go down, similar to how those soccer teams are in Europe, where Real Madrid has a 11U, 12U, 13U. I imagine at some point in time, if the NCAA isn't able to get a hold of things, that there will probably be long-term developmental NFL leagues to bring kids up the ranks. You know what I mean? Be some kid that played for the Cincinnati Bengals since he was 10.
Yeah.
Now he's getting drafted by him. So, I imagine it'll get to that point at some point in time.
Out of all of the quarterbacks that you've been with, from college to the pros, who would you say is the funniest one out of all of them?
Man, funniest man. Gosh, that's a tough one. Man, me and we've had some special moments, bro. I know him forever. I know his family. I mean, shit. My man grabbing his crotch in Kansas was top five. That was
Uh,
good. That was great.
you
So
got to be happy for like the career resurgence he's had in the league too with the Bucks as well.
yeah, yeah, man, and a lot of it, as I mentioned earlier, is circumstances.
Yeah.
He's in a space where he can be himself. Tampa
Mhm.
Bay has allowed him to come in, and they've allowed him to be himself, to be who he is with his moxie and his leadership and crazy ass energy on a daily. They allow that, and so when you've got a special talent like him, and he's a special person as well, when you allow a guy to be able to do those things, man, it's always really, really, really easy to get the most out of
When you talked about Baker with the cross grabbing,
them.
one, right?
Yeah.
Is the jackass Orlando Brown Selly? Is that a top five, or
That's top five. That's for sure top
That's
five.
definitely
two-part
top five.
question too? Is that something that we could bring back at a later date? Is it, like, what would be the occasion for that? I guess.
I don't know. My story behind it, man, was we were in Jacksonville. I was getting ready. I always, I get to the games pretty early into my locker, so I was just in the equipment room chilling, and they had NFL Live on, and all the analysts chose Jacksonville. I took a picture of it on my phone, and they all chose Jacksonville, and I just remember look at these idiots, look at these jackasses. So I don't know. It just kind of came out. Me, Mix, TV, Uno, and Five. We had coordinated that celebration,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It just came out right there at the end. I was like, hey, jackass, hello.
That's a
Hello.
crazy soundbite that I see like every once in a while. Like I think sometimes the kids call it like ore farming or like you might be farming. I feel like that's the beginning of the farming stuff. When you say something like that, you know that we could use that on so many other things. So now, like if somebody says something stupid to me, I pull that out. Like I can't overuse it. That's why I'm like, what else we got? Because like me, I like to cook people online a little bit. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I might need another one like that too.
Hey, I'll bring you something this season. Don't worry.
I gotta ask before we let you get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Zim hands you the aux cord. You could play 3 songs.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
Damn.
That's a tough on the spot right there, bro. That's a tough one.
What they could be from one album, they gotta be separate. What's the
It's
vibe?
wherever vibes. We at the party. We like, man, let Orlando get the aux. Whatever he want to rock with right now.
Hey,
Classic.
hey,
Classic.
Tell me our boy Willie Anderson is
Classic.
hey, the ruler's back.
Woo. Okay.
Don't cry.
Okay.
All I need.
Yes. That's classic. That's a classic. He got the vinyl too. He got the vinyl too.
Yeah, I got the vinyl.
Don't make me go over here and pull out my vinyls now. Hold on.
Hey, I know you got some too. That's why I pulled them out.
Hey, hold on now. We don't want to do that. We can have a vinyl off on here right now.
That's that East Coast though. That's that East Coast. If you know, you know. You know what I mean? I got
When
the
the album
vinyls
come
too.
out to this day, I see there's the artist drop the vinyl, and I got my whole little. It's right over here, Sue.
Me too.
But the crazy thing too is, Willie, our good friend Willie Anderson of the show too. Probably one of the biggest Jay-Z fans that I know.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the other day where somebody posted on Twitter like name 5 Jay-Z songs? And I was like, I know I'm not that old. You ain't see that? And then people they were going crazy and being like trying to make it because the rumor is that he's going to perform at the Super Bowl.
Oh shit.
Oh nah, I didn't hear that.
No, I didn't see that. All right, so that's the rumor is like 2026 or whatever, Super Bowl or something like that, or like whatever.
So they couldn't name 5 Jay-Z songs?
Well, some idiot, like one of these little millennial little young whippersnappers was like, yeah, like you can't even name, and then I'm talking about it just went crazy. I'm talking about like at least 20 million, 50 million views that I saw on Twitter. Like it was crazy. And then people were naming all their songs. And I was like, bro, I know I'm not that old where Jigga is now like considered like on some.
I did see the joint where somebody said they knew more Jim Jones songs than Nas songs. I did see that.
That is crazy.
But depending
that's like criminal. That's a criminal. That's a criminal offense.
Criminal offense.
It is criminal. It is criminal, but a little bit of pushback depending on their age. God. But depending on the age, though, come on, like how likely are you to go to any event or something and hear something off of Illmatic, Stillmatic versus hearing Ballers or something like, or any of them Jim Jones? Like,
that's a good point.
Made You Look though. They gotta play that somewhere. The remix or something like that. They got to. But you're right. You definitely hearing more Jim Jones in the club than you would Nas. But like to say that you don't even know who Nas is or that Jim is over Nas.
That's nuts.
Ooh, Illmatic. Yes, sir.
Oh, hey, Zim, I'm finna make you pull them out, Zim.
You gonna have to go get the vinyls. I got one I can pull out too. I got one I can pull out. I got the Nipsey, the Victory Lap joint on vinyl.
It's funny, I got that over here too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man, what we got? I already
Zim ain't playing, bro.
Let's see what we got, bro. Woo!
That's my Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Big classic right there.
Yeah, though, that's a timeless piece.
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough.
So when people tell me the new clips is coming out, if the beats if they're not like Lord Willing beats right here, I don't want to hear it. Notice Orlando. Notice that these are the unopened section right here now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got them as heavy hitters.
Woo, Bob Marley.
Bob.
Yeah, see, I ain't. Yeah.
So you gotta be everywhere. Like, and then my wife might be in a chill mood. You gotta have a little scissor. To me,
you gotta have that.
So if you're watching this and you're like, who is SZA? To me, this is the new Shaka Khan. I'm gonna just go out there on a limb. She's very, very talented. What else I got? This is one of my favorite. Yeah,
I thought I saw that. I saw the college dropout joint. Yeah,
gotta have that. This is for me and Ace right now. See, Orlando, you was.
I don't know if you know about that. Your dad know all about that.
Which one is
Master P?
Oh yeah, they could say,
This is the last Don. This is man. Look, I got a nice little crate over there. My dad used to actually run an arcade when I was young.
Oh wow.
He had a crazy collection too. He won't give me none of his albums, but I'm hoping he's got a plan for him or something later on. But he got a bunch of stuff. But that's one of my things when an album like Kendrick comes out, whatever, I go get the vinyl version of it. Generally, most of the artists put it out on their site when they come out too. It's just like a good little talking piece, I guess, at the house.
Good collection item too. And y'all got I see y'all got the players too. Y'all got the record players too to actually play them joints on.
I got one upstairs and one on this floor. So I taught my son how to like clean the little needle and all that stuff. So you gotta. It's a little maintenance with it, but it's worth it.
It is.
But man, Orlando, we appreciate you for stopping by, bro. We appreciate you rapping with us as usual. If there's anything that you wanted to say to Who They Nation out there, the floor is yours, brother.
Man, I just would tell you guys this time, man. I'm excited for the season. It's about to be a great year.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. Well, Orlando, we appreciate you. Zim, was there anything you wanted to say to Orlando before we get out of here?
No, I just want Orlando to just beat the shit out of anybody that's in front of you all year because they try to label me as a homer because I'm so emphatic on I think the Bengals are the real deal. Like I don't know. I don't know. Like I look at my Bengals fandom almost like spirituality or like a religion or something. Like there's no way you could talk me out of not believing in the Bengals. Yeah. But I get reinforcements from prophets like yourself, Orlando, where you come in. And then you reinforce the fact that we are not bullshitting out here. And the Bengals should be in that conversation. You got to let them know that Zim is not crazy when I say that we're about to whoop ass.
Hey, man, Ace and Zim are stamped. Just know they fucking stamped.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Hey, that's going on the new. Hey, we got to add that to the intro. That's it right there. That's what I needed right there.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you for stopping by again.
Of course, appreciate you guys, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Who they?
Yep, who they?
Yes, sir. Orlando Brown Jr. stopping by. I love that interview, man. I took it off in a little other direction, but I like to hear more about the people themselves, the family, Absolutely. Like what they're into, the hobbies. We don't get that vinyl off between you and him if we don't get into that. But then we also get a lot of the good stuff that he said pertaining to the Bengals, exuding the confidence. I feel like it was a very serious tone. Like we not playing no more. Like, all right, we know what the word is. We not playing. We ready to get right to it. We ready to handle business. And he's talking Lombardi talk. We not talking. A lot of people are talking. Can the Bengals just get back to the playoff? Nah, we trying to get that Lombardi.
It's so disingenuous when they do that. And I know we got a bunch of viewers right now. We definitely want to just say thank you for rocking with us. We took a little bit of a break off new season. Please make sure you go to the YouTube. If you like the interview, please make sure you share it. We are independent, fully backed by ourselves and the people. So if you don't share it with other people, people do not understand that these interviews are out there. You got to understand the powers that be. Just don't retweet us like the fans do. So we really, really need your help making sure people see that. We appreciate Orlando, doing that. Sure. But one of the things that I've come to, I guess I got to get over it. But a lot of people are falling into this trap to be like, the Bengals haven't gone to the playoffs in 2 years. I just don't remember nobody doing that to like Lamar when he got hurt in like 2021. And so to me, Burrow was hurt in 2023. So it's super disingenuous to then be like the dude that just led the NFL in yards, touchdowns, and completions, like has no relevance. And like, we're just going to push him to the side. I do think there's also a real conversation. I thought some of the questions that I was asking Orlando about the interior offensive line and the depth there, and I'm asking about Matt Lee, and I'm asking about Fairchild, and Ace is asking about, different guys on the offensive line, that goes hand in hand with the conversations where maybe you don't feel as though the Bengals are going to be, who I think they are going to be. And that's 100% warranted. And I think he answered a lot of questions about the front office as well, too. Even though I don't think I believe as much as he does in the front office based off of his answers or whatever, I do think that there is some relevance to what he's saying in the sense that they are working to do different things. But I don't know, if it's at the frenetic or if it's at the pace that Bengals fans wanted to be at. And I think, as we're saying the Trey Hendrickson thing, and we're saying that the Bengals are just moving at their own speed. Orlando's like, yeah, they're here every day. They're here before I get there, whatever. So they're doing stuff, but I just don't think that they're working at the speed that we want them to work at. And I think that might be one of the gray areas, but I don't know. I still really think that this team is one of the scariest teams in the NFL because of the offense. Like, that alone makes you very scary. And the Bengals, when they went to back-to-back AFC championship games, they had the 17th best and the 22nd best defense. So it's not like this crazy thing to say, like, they got to have a top 10 defense. And, like, I don't think they even really need that. I think they just need one that makes good plays. Bengals offense does what it's supposed to. And they make plays. And I think Orlando laid it out there and said, look, we got Gesicki in the slot. We got T, man. We airing it out. Like, he pretty much just said that. Like, that's what it's going to be.
Shout out to Widow as well. Y'all listening to Indy Griselda. Yeah, I definitely listen to Griselda for sure. For sure. I don't know if we should have asked Orlando that.
I should have asked Orlando that. I think Orlando definitely is a Griselda guy. Yeah, I heard this mashup. I'm gonna send it to Widow. Somebody put a Griselda, that Black Mass account that I be following. I know that dude for a long time. On Instagram, when he had like 20 followers, but he got a mashup of Griselda and it's somebody else. It's the craziest joint I've ever heard. I'm not a big Griselda guy, but like some of my friends are. But that would have been a great question for Orlando because I feel like he definitely got that Griselda.
He probably energy. Griselda energy for sure. Yeah, he got the whole vinyls. Yeah, the 96 whole. But shout out to y'all for rocking with the Wincinnati podcast. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you share this interview. And once again, thank you to Orlando Brown for joining. We'll see you guys next time. What's up? You had something else you wanted to say?
Just a little Midwest.
Best barbecue. Yeah, shout out to our sponsor. Let's toss it in.
Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them high honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them high honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins, or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. And much love to Mama T, Uno and CTB. MB's got Bengals wings, and now we just added T's. 9 to 5 winning things. Gritty for Uno wings. We say yes, Sirski now. Like Aces and be saying that T got them new wings. Only at MB's. Honey lemon peppers. Now you can call them T's. Honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins. Or you say number 5s. Either way, you'll be winning. It's them honey lemon peppers. Now they call T. Higgins. Or you say number 5.
That was nice. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Midwest Best Barbecue, 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. Stop in, get you some ice cream. It's hot in the Natty right now. Get some of that ice cream. Get some of that barbecue. Get the wings. Get the teas. Get the Dillinators. Get them all at Midwest Best Barbecue, 669 Justice Court in Loveland, Ohio. And if you're listening to this, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because you can't see my buddy Zim over here holding up a classic, a Quemini on the vinyl as well. So make sure that you guys tap in and subscribe. We appreciate that. Thank you guys once again so much for tuning in to the Wincinnati podcast. Coming up on the Wincinnati podcast.
Hello, world. Wincinnati.
You guys are the Yoshi creators, bro.
It's a new beginning. You know what that means, right?
But I know this, the whole NFL is scared of the Bengals.